My name is Dan Abnett. I'm a comic book writer, novelist, and game writer, many other things like that. I'm here today to just meet people and talk to people and have a nice time. Demoncon is a fantastic event, and I think I've been to almost every single one since it started. It's my local comic shop, and I like to support it. I particularly enjoy wandering around looking at what the artists are doing because it's a great opportunity to see people drawing stuff in front of you. And everybody seems very friendly because unlike the really big events where you've got to queue up for hours and there is an opportunity here I think to properly talk to people and to exchange ideas and to talk about what you're enthusiastic about. And there's some great cosplay around. I'm sure you'll see quite a lot of it as you go around.
I understand your comic was the basis for the Guardians of the Galaxy film.
Yes, Guardians of the Galaxy. I wrote Guardians of the Galaxy in 2008, and it existed as a comic before then, and it has existed afterwards. But it was that run, the 2008 run, that James Gunn, the director, chose as the inspiration for the movie. And he made no secret of that. I got to visit the set several times. He wanted me to see what he was doing, and it was the style, it was the combination of characters, it was the sort of atmosphere and tone of the film that he was taking from the comic. So I got to go to the premiere as well, which was fantastic. And I think the movie is fantastic. I've really, really enjoyed it. I think he's done a magnificent job. I believe there's going to be a sequel as well because I think it's the most popular Marvel film so far, most successful Marvel film so far, so that's pretty amazing. And although I'm not writing Guardians of the Galaxy, from October I'll be writing a new ongoing series from Marvel called Guardians 3000, which will be a companion piece to the main Guardians of the Galaxy comic, and it features the original characters from the 1968 origin, which is a completely different bunch of characters 1,000 years in the future. So there'll be two versions, which is a good fun thing to do.
What's it like seeing stuff that you've made sort of end up on the big screen?
It is a really weird experience. I mean, some of my stuff is translated from, novels into comics or comics into animation or that kind of stuff over the years, but this is the first time that a really big movie version has happened. And like I said, I didn't create everything in it, but there are certain things like Nowhere, the space station, and the Labrador dog in the cosmonaut uniform, that kind of stuff, were all stuff that came straight out of my imagination, and it is really weird sitting there in the cinema and seeing it all happen. It's also very strange when I went on set and I met Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana and Dave Bautista, all in costume, and that was very strange to sort of encounter your characters. They were lovely, very friendly people, but they looked like the characters, and they built things like the Star-Lord ship, the Milano, was a full-scale, complete entity that they could move around on a gimbal joint for doing all the animation stuff. So I got to walk around on spaceships. They weren't just sets, they were actual physical spaceships, which was amazing and gave me an insight into what it's actually like to do that. I mean, I had to imagine that for so many years and to actually climb aboard and go, oh, that's what it feels like to be contained within this cockpit or whatever. So it was great fun, and I was very, very impressed with what they did. I was very impressed with his style of direction, because everything obviously was carefully scripted, but he would encourage spontaneity and ad-libs from the actors. So I watched him film a scene where it was when the Milano comes to a sort of skidding crash landing with Star-Lord and Gamora and Drax on board. And it's a dramatic moment in the film, it's quite tense, so there's a lot of tension in the first take, and I thought, well, that's great, that's really exciting. But he started to notice the reactions of what the people were doing, so he did 2 or 3 more takes, and then he said to the guy playing Drax, you laughed last time, because as Drax, he likes death, so he found it amusing. Could you laugh more? And he did, and then there was a sort of double take, spontaneous double take between the other 2 characters, and it was so funny. He said, right, let's do that again, and let's make that the scene. So it's still dramatic, but he got these performances out of them just by watching what they were doing in reaction to a scene. So the scene he ended up with at the end of the day, which had the entire crew in hysterics, but was still tense, was quite a long way from the scene as it was scripted originally, even though it served the same purpose. But as a director, he just did this amazing stuff. Very impressed.
And you live locally?
Yeah, Maidstone.
So how is it, having sort of lived locally, having done this convention sort of so many years, to be able to kind of like keep coming back and to have contributed something that sort of has such a far wide reach? What's it like being able to come back to this locally? It's
great. I mean, this is the first con of any sort, but particularly Demoncon that I've done since Guardians came out, and there's been a bigger reaction to it. So the response is obviously very much based like that. I think the last time I was here, it was all about Warhammer stuff, which I write. So it's obviously whatever I'm doing is the thing people most want to talk to me about. But this time it's people who want to talk about Guardians, and they've latched onto that because it is such a huge phenomenon. So it's very exciting and very it's good fun. I mean, I've had at least one Star-Lord and at least one Gamora in full costume come up and, can you sign this? And I go, yeah, can I get my photograph taken with you? Because it's great to see the cosplay and everything. It is fun. I always enjoy this day.
So if you had a sentence in which to try and summarise Demoncon, how would you do it?
Demoncon is the perfect film, television and comic convention because it's not vast. It's in a really good location and there is an opportunity to interface with the other members of the public, people in costume and artists and writers and creators, and actually have proper conversations and get your autographs and stuff like that, rather than being overwhelmed by 10,000 people in a sweaty box, which doesn't, is not a good day out as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Was that all right?
That was great.
Thank you very much indeed.